Good morning, my loves. This is your girl, Sada Star, and I'm your big sis here at the Easy Breezy Life. Welcome to God is Within Her, our Easy Breezy Bible study. Today's study is week 7 of 52 Weeks with Jesus, and this is a 52-week devotional written by Pastor James Merritt and drawing from his experiences of walking a life with Jesus and helping us understand the transformational power that Jesus' identity means for every single one of our lives. Our scriptural reading this morning is coming from John 10, verses 10 through 18, and I'm reading the New International Version. The thief comes only to steal, kill, and destroy. I have come that they may have life and have it to the full. I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd lays down his life for the sheep. The hired hand is not the shepherd, nor does he own the sheep. So when he sees the wolves coming, he abandons the sheep and runs away. Then the wolf attacks the flock and scatters it. The man runs away because he is a hired hand and cares nothing for the sheep. I am the good shepherd. I know my sheep, and my sheep know me. Just as the Father knows me, and I know the Father, I lay down my life for the sheep. I have other sheep that are not of this sheep pen. I bring them also. They too will listen to my voice, and there will be one flock and one shepherd. The reason my Father loves me is that I lay down my life only to take it up again. No one takes it from me, but I lay it down of my own accord. I have authority to lay it down and authority to take it up again. This command I received from my Father. Chapter 7 is entitled The Good Life, an unfortunate comparison. Jesus doesn't use the shepherd metaphor when he refers to himself as the door. Over and over in the Bible, we are compared to sheep. Some people think it's heartwarming, but I hate to tell you, it's not flattering. You won't find a dumber animal than sheep. Dogs and cats can be trained, but you'll never go to a circus and buy a ticket to see a trained sheep. They have poor eyesight. They have no common sense. Left to their own, they'll walk into a stream and drown. Sheep are prone to even walk off of a cliff and plummet to their death. We are different from sheep in at least one way. We worry. Sheep are too dumb to even worry that they can't take care of themselves, but we do, especially when we confront situations that we can't handle or we're put into circumstances we can't manage. You either have or will have worries you can't resolve. The anxiety or fear of a marriage that's seemingly on the rocks, or the frustration of a teenager who's headed down the wrong path. The worry of an illness that may not get better, or a bank account that's falling deeper into the red. The best life is one where you face your deepest fears, darkest places, and greatest worries with faith rather than fear. When you understand you're a helpless sheep, you also understand that Jesus is the good shepherd and that he leads us to powerful truth. Sheep need not fear when the good shepherd is near. Do you know the difference between a cowboy and a shepherd? A cowboy drives cattle, but a shepherd leads sheep. When Jesus says, the thief comes only to steal, kill, and destroy, he is referring to Satan. Do you ever wonder if you're headed in the right direction with your life or with a decision you're about to make? Remember that the shepherd will guide you to the right places, but Satan will drive you to the wrong places. A group of tourists visiting the Holy Land passed by a flock of sheep being driven into town. The tourists were taking pictures, and one of them asked the guide, I thought the shepherd led the sheep from the front. Why is he in the back? That's not the shepherd, that's the butcher. That's the position Satan will always take in our life, driving us, shoving us from the rear to remind us of our past, filling us with guilt and anxiety, riddling us with fear and uncertainties in the present, whispering worries about the future. But Jesus will make us lie down in green pastures. He will lead us beside still waters. I recently had a dinner with one of the congressmen in Washington, D.C. He lives in an area where a tornado had just devastated hundreds of homes. He showed me on his cell phone one of the most incredible pictures I'd ever seen. It was a photograph of a tornado that looked as if it were right behind the elementary school where two of his children attend. The twister miraculously went behind the school and did little damage. But he remarked about the helpless feeling that the picture gave him, knowing he could not have done anything to protect his children that day. We are all helpless against the unexpected tornadoes in our lives. We can't predict or fully safeguard against a drunk driver, deranged killer, determined terrorist, or deserting spouse. Just like sheep, we need a shepherd who can get us where we need to be. Shepherds cannot keep sheep from difficulty. Wolves and bears wait to devour the sheep. Bad weather threatens the flock. Ticks, fleas, and other parasites can sicken and weaken them. The shepherd can prevent sheep from coming into contact with bears or wolves, but the shepherd can protect the sheep when they do. Jesus does not guard us from difficulty, he guards us in difficulty. Know by name. I'm fascinated at how Jesus looked at people. We tend to see the nameless faces, bland personalities, a list of hangups or hiccups, but when Jesus stared into a set of eyes, he really saw the person behind them. Jesus explained, I am the good shepherd. I know my own, and my own know me. Just as the Father knows me, I know the Father. I lay down my life for the sheep. To know means much more than to just be able to identify a person by name. In the Bible, to know involves intimacy, deep understanding of another person. Shepherds did not know their flock just as a whole, they knew each sheep individually. They gave each sheep a name and could call an individual sheep out in the fold. But those shepherds also knew the nature of each one. They knew that they were prone to wander, the ones who were stubborn, and the ones that tended to get into trouble. The shepherd knows the needs of the sheep and knows exactly how, when, and where to meet those needs. What do you think the price would be for a car, a plane, or train that was guaranteed to withstand an accident? How much would you pay for a ship guaranteed to never sink under any circumstance? Having a shepherd to guard you and to guide you, not only in this life, but also the way of eternity, is of infinite worth. Yet that is exactly what Jesus wants to be for us. Two things make a shepherd good. He always leads his sheep where they need to go, and he always gives the sheep what they need to have. And that's why following Jesus is truly the good life. When you are in difficulty, Jesus will get you where you need to be. When you are desperate, Jesus will give you what you need to have. In the first century, a shepherd who embarked on a long journey with a flock of sheep was considered successful if he arrived with more than 50% of the flock. That world was full of dangers, disease, poison, grass, bad water, wild animals. But that is why Jesus is a one of a kind shepherd. When Jesus starts out with 100 sheep, he ends up with 100. He doesn't lose any. You don't need to live an aimless, helpless life of wandering. Jesus invites you to make him the good shepherd in your life and become part of his flock. The good life awaits. This week's prayer is, Lord, we are absolutely lost without you. This day and always, we ask that we need you to guide us and feed us. Thank you for being the shepherd who is good. And our question to ponder is, are you living the good life? Have you decided to follow the shepherd who is good? I love you. God bless you. And I shall absolutely, by God's grace, see you next week for God is within her, another week with Jesus in 2022. Be well, my loves.
start turning ends with you. You are the only definition of our God. No comparison with you. It all starts and it ends with you. God, God, that's all I can say. God, God, that's who you are. God, God, you never change. God, God, that's who you are. Say you are
The only definition
of a God. No comparison with you.
it all starts and it ends.
Say you are, yes Lord, definition of our God. No comparison with you.
It all starts and it ends.
Here we go. Say God, God, that's all I can say. Whoa. All I have to say. God, God, that's who you are. Oh, God, God, you never change.
Remain the same.
My God, that's who you are.
That's who you are.
God, God, that's all I can say.
All I have to say.
God, God, that's who you are. That's who you are. Nobody else like you. God, hey, you never change. Plato, Plato, you remain. God, God, that's who you are.
That's who you are.
Nothing less, nothing more. It's all you.
It's all
Nothing less, and there is nothing more. It's all you.
it's all
You are God alone, and you alone are God. It's all you.
it's all
You stand alone, and you do great and mighty things. It's all you.
it's all
Waymaker, provider, yeah. It's all you.
it's all
Tell me who can make a way. Tell me who can raise the dead. Tell me who can heal the sick. Hey! It's all you. God, God, that's all I can say.
all I have to say.
God, God,
That's who you are.
Yes, Lord, you're my God. Yes.